Thank you. Hello, everyone. So my name is Oskar Stål, and I've been working at Spotify for over 14 years. And 12 of those years, I've been a leader in the area of personalization and machine learning at Spotify. I wanted to come here today and tell you this story about GenAI and personalization, because this is a somewhat different story than the normal stories that we tell about personalization at Spotify. And I thought that it could potentially be interesting and fun for you to hear a little bit about how GenAI has changed how we need to work with personalization at Spotify. First, a little bit about Spotify. So 615 million users, 184 markets, and we've been focusing on personalization for 12 years now. So personalization has always been at the forefront, or at least for 12 years. And it's really at the heart of what we do at Spotify. And we believe that Spotify is synonymous with personalization. And in fact, when we ask our users what feature they like the most, 81% actually cite personalization. Personalization comes in many flavors at Spotify. You may be aware of some of them. We have lots of playlists. For example, Wrapped, Release Radar, Discover Weekly, we have mixes. We have a personalized start page for when you open Spotify. We have a personalized search that helps you find content. And now we'll talk a little bit about trying to introduce GenAI into this story of personalization. So here's where that story starts. So at Spotify, we've always been dreaming about this magical button. You wake up in the morning, you press the button, and for the entire day, you get this amazing audio playing for you. There's music, there's talk, there's podcasts, and you're just enjoying your day, having fun, and it's all amazing for you. We've always imagined it like, what if we could give a personal DJ to everyone at Spotify? Someone you could talk to and riff with and who understood you and would help you through the day of through your day of audio. So we started thinking, what if this could become true? What if now was the time that this could actually happen? So you could say that a spark was lit in the Spotify soul. First, we needed to think about how could we actually get a product to market? We had lots and lots of ideas, and we had lots of actually products that we had tried in market that were in market kind of like experimentations. We had personalized playlists that mixed music and podcasts together in fun and interesting ways. We had voice interactions where you could talk to Spotify and tell Spotify what you wanted to do, what you wanted to listen to. We had all sorts of things, but we knew that to actually create a real plan of something we could launch to market, we were going to have to simplify and get down to the essence of something interesting. So after a lot of work, we decided that, number one, we're going to do a product that is music only. No podcast, no talk, only music programming. You're not going to be able to talk to the product. The product will be talking to you, explaining what's going on, but you cannot control it via talk. So an important simplification. And this would be a lean-back session. So you could turn it on, and you could do your stuff. You could do your dishes, washing, or go for a walk or whatever. You didn't have to be fully focused as you were listening. So now we were ready, and we needed to start work on actually bringing this product to market. We wanted to design a very iterative process so that we could try and try again, because we still knew that we would have many difficult unanswered questions that we had to figure out. So we created a process where every week we invited a bunch of people to the office. We showed them what we had discussions about them, and we had reflections with them. And from that, we learned how they reacted, what they thought, what they liked, and what they didn't like. We knew from previous experience that when you show prototypes to users and new ideas to users, most often what they will say is, I'm confused and I don't care. So from the start, we were working against this idea, like how do we make them not being confused and how do we make them care? And then every week we could hash on that, trying to make it better and better. We also wanted to put the bar really high to make sure that everyone who came in that week, no one would say, I'm confused and I don't care. So we wanted this to be a product that worked for everyone, not just a few interested souls. One of the first questions we wrestled with was, so we want to create this product. It will be talking to you. It will be explaining the music. So there will be songs, there will be talk, kind of like a real DJ. But would we tell our users that this is an AI? Or would we just talk to our users? Our intuition told us we shouldn't say this is an AI. The user's not going to care. They just care about the value they get. They don't care whether this is AI or not. And also, saying it's an AI is almost like a little bit tech nerdy and, boasting that we can build cool tech. That's not what our customers care about. There was, however, this one person who was like, well, I'm not sure. So this person kept saying, like, are we really sure about this? And because we had this weekly cadence, we said, okay, whatever, let's try it. So one week, we dialed it to 11, and we went all in, like, this is an AI, this is really AI technology, blah, 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 blah. And lo and behold, the users we were testing it on went from, I'm confused, to this is really cool. So we learned that, yes, we need to tell our users, this is an AI. Next question. What is the AI really going to say? Like, what we know we wanted to talk, explain the music, but what are we going to say? So in the beginning, we were telling the users why we wanted to recommend this music to them, why we were playing it. So we would explain things like, this is on your favorite playlist, and you played it 15 times last week, or this is on your top hits playlist that you really like, that you added this song to the other week, etc., etc. So kind of like explaining how the algorithms worked and why we choose this song. But the benefit wasn't clear to the users. They were saying, like, yeah, this is kind of like a voice on top of my playlist and like a nice add-on, but it wasn't really a clear benefit to them. So instead, we decided to try to take credit for the work we've done. So instead of explaining it, we took credit for it, and we added context and emotions to it. So we would be more like explaining, like, hey, maybe you want to be upbeat today, and here's some fun upbeat music we know you like. So a little bit more setting a context and explaining what we're playing rather than explaining why we're playing it. And all of a sudden, we saw users reacting in a different way. And what we actually could see was that users starting to listen to and play music that they otherwise wouldn't have. So this context setting and emotions explaining actually made people listen to music they otherwise wouldn't have. And now we got to the question of what voice are we going to use? How are we going to talk to our users? Is it going to be, a woman, a man, a high pitch, low pitch, fast talker, slow talker? You can imagine the huge spectrum of choices here. But we actually had somewhat in the back of our mind like a goal voice, like a voice we really liked. So there was this person, a music expert working at Spotify, who had done a lot of podcasts about music, talking about like the latest trends in music, etc. So we always said, like, we kind of like that voice. Maybe we should try to, steal some ideas from that voice. And then one day someone got the idea, maybe rather than thinking about that as a nice goal, maybe just take that very voice. Take exactly this voice that we like and use that voice. So we brought in this person who is an employee at Spotify and said, here's our idea, blah, 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 DJ, AI, this, that, the other. Would you want to be the voice for this product? And he loved the idea. He very much wanted to be part of this product development. So meet X, who is an employee at Spotify and is also like a music expert at Spotify. And he now became part of the team, and the work became, how do we make his voice come to life through AI inside of this product? And with this, we really wanted to be authentic. So we wanted to be authentic by using a real voice. We wanted to be authentic by actually mimicking a real person to being a real person, but also being authentic by actually having a true, real music expert being that person. So every user would have a real music expert person talking to them. So we brought him in as well into the scripting room where we decided what is this AI going to say. So we started to use his expressions, and we wanted the AI DJ to talk exactly like he would be talking, using his expressions. So that's how we came up with some expressions like, okay, I got you, or okay, changing it up. These aren't expressions that we made up. These are expressions that he uses in his everyday talking. So X would walk around carrying a notebook, and whenever he found himself using an expression that he would often use, he would write it down, bring it to the script room so we can incorporate it into how the AI DJ was talking. So it turns out that we were not digitizing a voice, we were actually digitizing a person and how a person speaks. The next question we were faced with was, so now all of us in the project team, we know that this is X talking. When we hear a recording, we can't really say, is this a recording of X or is this like a generated AI DJ talk? That's how similar that was. So for us, it was very clear that this is authentic X talking. But should we tell users, do we tell users this is a person, my name is X, or do we just tell them this is your AI DJ? So again, our intuition was that, maybe not, say that this is a real person, but X himself, he was really having the intuition like, no, we should go all in. We should tell everyone that this is me and I'm a real person and I'm here talking to you, helping you with your music selection today. So we tried it again. We dialed it to 11. We were like, hello, I'm X, I'm your DJ, da-da-da-da-da, and tried it with the user group. And again, we learned that this really alleviated a lot of concerns and problems that was previously raised in these test groups. Because earlier people were asking things like, why is the DJ talking to me in this way? Why is it using this particular strange expression? Like being weirded why would Spotify choose to say these things in this way to me? But now it's more like obvious. This is a person who's speaking this way. It's not strange that this person is sounding like this because obviously that's how this person sounds. So it really removed a lot of these like AI weirdness concerns that users have. Next challenge. Okay, so now we need to generate a ton of like authentic voice in a cost-effective manner. So we have 600 million users, so that's 1.2 million minutes a day if we want to generate 2 minutes of talk. And as many of you will know, a lot of the providers out there, they have big models, expensive models, so like generating 1.2 million minutes every day may not be a very nice perspective. So we started to thinking about like how do we actually do this, and it turns out we had one thing going for us, like one benefit, and that was that we actually only needed to be able to generate one single voice. You know how most of these big models out there, they can generate tons of different voices and they can mimic voices, this, that, the other. But our model only needed to know one voice. So that made things a little bit different for us. So we were lucky and we ended up finding a company who had exactly the technology we needed. So they could do like one voice and do it very authentically, but also very cost effectively. So Spotify went out and acquired the company, brought them in, and now we have this technology in-house, so we can essentially generate this DJ's voice. Okay, so now it's launch time.
Hey Max, what's going on? I'm X, and from this moment on, I'm gonna be your own personal AI DJ on Spotify. Let's go. Up next, I know you've been on a summer song kick lately, so I went back for some of your old summertime favorites. See if it warms you up. Next up, some of the music you had on a lot back in 2018.
Do you think of me? Walking out there.
All right, Max, let's get you out of your feels and switch up the vibe. You've been into dance music lately. I got this brand new release to get you moving. Introducing DJ, the best of Spotify made just for you, one tap away. Powered by AI, delivered by me, your very own DJ.
So, for the first time ever, Spotify was able to deliver playlists to our users, but also explaining what we were doing through audio. So this was very exciting for us. And this voice really helped to connect users with the music and make users listen to things that they otherwise wouldn't. And the voice you heard on this video obviously was totally generated by AI. And it's so authentic that when this was launched, X had friends from where he grew up call him and say like, hey, this sounds exactly like you. It's like having you ride with us in the car. So even his, best friends from the past couldn't tell the difference between, this generated voice and X himself. And this product is live in 50 markets. And if you're a lucky soul who happen to live in one of these markets, you can go into Spotify and search for DJ, and this product will come up. And once you press it, it's going to introduce yourself, and you're going to be hearing this AI DJ's voice for yourself in the app. And it also turns out that this is very much liked and enjoyed by users. So for any user who's listening to the DJ any given day, they will spend 32% of the time that day listening to the DJ. So we've really been able to reach this goal of creating longer sessions where people can stay in the same session for a while we're switching up the music and explaining why we're switching up the music. And what we found is that this voice really helps to strengthen that bond between the creator, between the user and the music. We also received a lot of positive feedback. So as far as we can tell, it seems like users really love this feature. And here are some of the tweets of what we've heard. And with this story, I really hope that you've learned a little bit about how generative AI has changed how we have to think about personalization in Spotify. So that's all. Thank you, everyone.